Hello everybody, this is Mike with Maker's Outpost. Just a short little video. Basically hopefully a series of more to come. Basically it says, you know, I've printed it, something that you've designed, that Maker's Outpost has designed. Now what? Now what do I do with it? So I've got all these parts. So today we're going to start with the Tealight. And if you purchased a complete Tealight unit from us, you can skip ahead. I'll have it in the description, the exact part where you can skip to for the final assembly, putting the panels together and making it work. But this section, this part of the video will deal with, so you've printed all the individual pieces. Now how do you assemble them? What do you have to do to get it together? I'm hoping my designs are self-explanatory, but you know, you never know, just in case. So the Tealight has three major base components. You have the foot section right here. You have the lower base, and then you have the upper rim box, as I call it, the top part. So what I usually do, this part usually only involves a couple simple tools. So what I start with is a file. Typically a small little file, little hobby file, little craft file. You can get these at, you can get a set of them at Lowe's. They come in multiple different sizes and shapes, depending on what you're filing. These little files work great for this for the ABS plastic. So the first thing I usually do is I'll take the printed pieces, and this is the edge that actually gets down against the printer bed and it gets printed. Now with 3D printing, the first layer with the FDM method that I use, it is what I call the adhesion layer. It's usually more squished down against the print bed, and that will oftentimes create like a little lip. That just because it's flatter, so it's more squished out. So what I'll do is I'll take the file and I'll go along and just clean up that lip along just the very bottom edge. For one thing, it's kind of sharp and it kind of stands out a little bit. It's a little bit intrusive. And depending on the type of printing you're doing, certain parts may not go together that well because that little lip will kind of keep them from seating right. So I usually will just start by filing that little lip down. Feel free to fast forward through this video if anything is boring, because I have three major components to do. I'll file that one down, and what I'll do then, I'll just take the edge of the file and run it along to get rid of that the filing scrapings and kind of smooth it out a little bit more. It does make a little bit of a mess, but I think in the long run it makes a cleaner, neater piece, and it'll definitely help with assembly, especially on pieces that kind of butt join together, as hopefully future videos will show. We'll just do all the pieces in turn, and I pretty much do this for everything I print. Sorry that this is in black. It's just some colors I wanted to print up for another Tealight design that will be part of this video once I get the rest of the panels printed up for it. Just go through and do this. Clean it up. Get rid of that edge, that lip. Adhesion lip, adhesion edge, I don't know what you want to call it. So then another thing I'll do is when I design screw holes, I always undersize them. So I always have to over drill. So for these, I've designed it to use number 2 by 1/4 inch sheet metal screws. So then what I need to do then is take a drill bit, a 5/64 drill bit, and my handy dandy little cordless battery powered screwdriver, and just over drill the holes for the screws. If you don't, it can actually damage the plastic, and I've actually had it crack and actually damage the plastic in the long run. So So it's just better just to over drill them. And the screw will still fit in very nicely and seat properly. So over drill that in the foot section, do it in the base section. So I've got those drilled out and ready to go. I've got the adhesion lip filed down and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick edit jump after I clean up my little dust pile here, and go and actually wash the pieces. I use basically just hairspray to allow the ABS plastic to adhere to the print bed. Other people use ABS slurry, ABS glue, but I found that sometimes is a pain in the rear to make, whereas a real can of hairspray works just perfectly and bonds properly. I have no issues with it. But a lot of times when you're done printing, you get hairspray residue on the plastic pieces. So I go wash them under warm tap water. I don't even use soap, just washes the hairspray away, and it helps clean up all the other dust. So I'm going to do a quick pop edit and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I've got the parts washed, got the hairspray residue off that will come off, and got all the extra dust off. So now is the next part of assembly, which is the foot section with the base. So the base section, this is where the Tealight sits, and then the panels slide into these ridges here. So then flip that over. The foot section will go like this. So basically it'll be kind of raised. So what you need for this then is 4 number 2 by 1/4 inch sheet metal screws. These I get really low cost from a reliable source, which I will have linked in the description where you can get these from. So basically, you know, just your screwdriver. This is the real biggest pain, is getting them started. Once you get them started, it's not that bad. Once you at least get 1 or 2, once you get the first 2 started, I should say, it's not that bad at all. And yes, I know I could essentially use super glue, you know, to bind everything together, then pull my screws out. But I actually prefer this look. This is how I like to create. I've always liked this more industrial look, more utility kind of look. So you'll see it a lot in my creations, our creations. Oh, it just kind of gives it its a certain character, a certain flair. So now this is pretty much the extent of the actual manual assembly. As I said before, if you purchase a complete unit, this part will actually be completed, and the next segment of the video will actually be how to get the panels in and the rest of the assembly so you can enjoy your Tealight. Alright, well, the next edit will be with the panels. Thank you. Alright, everybody. So now we've gotten the panels made up for the Tealight. So if you purchased one and it was shipped to you, it'd be shipped unassembled to save on space, obviously, to make it a little bit easier to ship. Smaller box, of course. So if you printed one or you purchased one, the basic assembly is very easy. You would take the panels and almost whatever orientation you want them to be in, and they just pretty much slide in and just kind of held in by friction. There doesn't really need to be much force. They don't really need much holding them. It's not like structural, it's not bearing a lot of weight or anything, so it's not really important how tight they are. It's a decorative piece, you know, it's not like a child's toy or anything, so it doesn't really matter. So you just go around the cube, getting the pieces into the base, into the grooves, And you just work on lining them up into the top piece, the rim box. This is always fun and a pleasure to do. But just taking your time, being patient, working them in. Like so, get them worked in. Now if you choose to, you could glue everything together with super glue. That would be fine if you want something more permanent. Part of the whole idea behind the design of the Tealight holder is you can either print or purchase additional panels for your Tealight holder and mix and match or whatever. So, you know, having them removable might be more beneficial to you in the long run. So there we go. We have it assembled. And one of the things I do want to stress is please use an LED flameless Tealight in these units. The plastic will burn, and ABS plastic is dangerous. It gives off toxic fumes when it burns. So please just use an LED Tealight. You can buy these really inexpensively almost anywhere nowadays. So just turn on and place your Tealight on in the center and enjoy your nice decorative piece. And these panels will be available for a download for our Patreon patrons, or you can also purchase them printed panels in your choice of colors, either as a complete Tealight. I'll have it up on Etsy, or you can purchase just the panels. Alright, well that's from me. If you like our videos, feel free to like the video, subscribe to our channel. If you would like to help us create more products and more videos, definitely check us out on Patreon and support us. Hey, thanks for visiting. Catch you later. Bye.